Welcome to this glorious class. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, and good day everywhere you are in the world. I am Mr. Maf Mishebi Towisheju Adeyemi, the CEO of Mafitech Expert. I will be teaching you CSS and few HTML. So in this crash card course, we are going to learn how to build this beautiful card. As you can see the image, you can see the heading and the contents, you can see the button went over, you can see the display blue background, you can see the transformation. So when you over it scale up and also have some boss shadow around it. Can see the border radius. So as we code along learning how to build this beautiful CSS card, so I want you to pay full attention so that you will have little knowledge to learn how to build this great card. So before then, as you are viewing this card all over the world, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mafitech Expert. Subscribe, like it, and click the notification button so that whenever I drop a new video, so you will be notified. So keep updates, share it also. Don't forget, subscribe to my channel so that you also have latest drop on the YouTube or the internet. So let's start coding. So let's go to our code editor. This is our code editor. We have the building block already. So before we start, so let's start building our container. So we say container. So under the container, we now have our card. So after the card, remember, let's view it again. So we have the image at the top. You can see the image at the top here. So the next thing we'll be creating now, so we'll create the image. So let's link the image. You can see the image here. So let's link it. Image, we have image 2. If you click inside, you will see it, image2.jpg. The alternative just say img. So we can now have card here, card img. So card img, use the bm format, you save changes. So the next thing, let's view it again, the heading. So let's type the heading h2.card underscore heading. So we cannot type multimedia designer. So the next thing now, we have the another list, which is card list. So we now have what we call list item. We now have card item. Now the card item, we now have a child called card descendant called icon, which is called link. So I put hash, is going nowhere for now. Then let's view our card and see what we have. We have Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, After Effects, and Premiere Pro. So let's enter the content now. Say Photoshop. So you can highlight it, copy, paste, 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 and paste. So the second one we call Illustrator. This one we have InDesign. InDesign. Then you can now say After Effects. Then the last one we can now say Premiere Pro. So let's save changes. So let's save changes. Let's view it in the live browser and see what we have done so far. Yes, you can see the image occupy everywhere. So the image has occupied everywhere. So this is the skeletal aspect of the HTML. So under the another list, then we now have what we call button. The button. So we can now type buy. So let's do it so that we know see what we are doing. You can see buy. So now let's start styling our CSS now. So let's go to our CSS. So you can get rid of this. So before we proceed, so let's do what we call, let's reset the the global setting, which is asterisk, comma, asterisk after, comma, asterisk before. Then let's reset, say padding 0, margin 0. Save the changes. So let's select the HTML. You know our font size by default in the browser is 16 pixel. So font size is 16 pixel. So we divide 16 pixel by, we want to make it by default 10 pixel. So we will now say 62 percentage. So how do we arrive by this? We now say 10. We now say 10 divided by 16. So equal to 0.6 0.625. So that is what we have. So we convert into percentage, now becomes 62.5. So that is how we arrive at that. Then automatic, our browser now by default will now become 10 pixel, so instead of using 16 pixel. So we'll be using the rem unit. So now we now say body. The body font family, you can take any. Let's use this one. So now say font size. So we have the font size already. Now say line height. Let's use 1.7. That is our line height. So we save changes. So let's start decoding our CSS now. Let's start coding our CSS. So remember, we have the container. If you look at the card now, you can see it's centralized. So let's use our container now. to centralize everything. So we'll be using flex. So container will now say display flex, then justify content center, align item center. So align item center. So let's view what we have done so far. So you can see you will, because we have not started styling it now, it has occupied everywhere. You will not see it until we start styling it. So let's go back. So the next thing we are going to do now, so let's give it a height a height of 100 view height, 100 view height. So that is it. So now let's start our card now, so that we'll start seeing the purification of our coding. So let's give the kite height, let's give the kite 45 rem. Then let's give width, the width of the card, let's give it 30 rem. 30 rem, which that, remember, a pixel is now known as 10 instead of 16 by default, our font size now. So which is 3, this is the width, which is 300, width is 300, the height is 450. So then let's view what we have done so far. You can see it has occupied everywhere. So you can see now the image. Let's structurize the image so that the image will not occupy everywhere. So let's continue. So let's go to our image so that we start seeing the beauty of what we have done so far. So let's next it, img. Remember, this img is, you can see the img here, card img. This is what where we created it. So let's take the image now, let's display it, block. Then we now have the width of 100%. Then we now have width of 100%. So let's view it. You can see it has taken shape. You can see it has taken, centralized, everything has taken shape. So let's proceed. Let's do our box sizing, border box, then border top. Let's use border top radius, border top left radius. We use what we call 0.5 rem. Now have another border top left radius, Okay, we have left before, then we can change it to right. Then we now say 0.5 rem. So let's view what we have gotten so far. You can see the border at the top has the radius already. So let's proceed. So the next thing we are going to do now, we are going to style the heading. So we have the image already, so let's start the heading. So the heading now, we now say padding wall one rem, that is top and bottom, 2 rem, 2.5 rem left and right. Then we now say text transform, text transform uppercase. Then we now have what we call text align center. Then color, color now use 008 ED6, a very bluish color. Then we have start the heading, so let's start our under list. Then now say list style, now use type list style. Let's say no. That's why I'm removing the bulletin. Padding 0 top, 2 rem left and right. Then we now say font width, we say bold. Then we now say text align, we say centralize it. So that is for the another list. So let's go for the item, which is the list itself. Then we now say font size, we say 1.5 rem, which is 15 pixel in calculation. Remember how we convert it to 10 pixel by default in the browser. So let's style our link now. Remember, the link is the anchor. The link have 4 stage. The link stage, visitor stage, we have the active state and the over state. So let's say text decoration, we are moving the underline. No. So let's view what we have gotten so far. You can see everything is centralized. Now we have removed the text decoration, which is the underline. We have removed the text decoration, which is the underline. So the next we are going to do now, let's go back to our code. So the next we are going to do now in the link, now say color. So we can put white, which is FFF. Then the next is text transform uppercase. Text transform, we said uppercase. Then the next thing we are going to do now, we are going to style the button. BTN. So the next one now, we say background of the button, we say no. So because we should look at the first stage of the button. You can see it doesn't have background, you only have border. When you hover it, the background appear, the border disappear. So let's go back to the coding. So background no. So border, now say dot 0.3 rem, which is 3 pixel solid. Let's use our normal color. Then we now say display. Remember, it's an inline element, so we'll convert it to block element so that it can occupy and so that we can also centralize it. So the margin 1 rem up and bottom, and auto will centralize it from left. We calculate the left and right and centralize it because it's not a block element. So our width, we use the width we use the width of 100, let's use the width of 80%. With 80%, then padding 1.22 m all around. Then we now say border radius 0.5 m. Then the text transform uppercase. Now styling the button, font width bold. So the font width is bold. So the next we are going to style here, let's give it box shadow. Box shadow. Box shadow is now say dot 2 rem dot 4 rem, which is the position from top and position to right. Then this other one is the blurriness. While the last one now is RGBA, which is the color that wants to appear at the background. So that is it. Then we can have color. Let's take it white. So cursor pointer. Then we can now have what we call transition all 1 second. So we save changes. So let's view what we have, what I've done so far in our browser. That is the demo. You can see we have start our button. So we have started the button. So now let's take a look of the card. This is the card itself. So let's start the card now. Let's go back and start the card. Let's go back to the card. So this is the card. So let's start the card now. Say background RGB. So we can now say 199. That is the red color. 226, which is the green color, and 245, which is the blue color. So that is the RGBA. The A is the alpha channel. So we now say border radius. Border radius. So the border radius we'll be using, we'll use 0.5 rem. So the box shadow, so we use 0.4 rem, which is moving to the right. So 0.22 rem moving to the downward. Then we now have the blurriness 0.0 rem. Then we now have RGBA, which is the alpha channel. Then we now press enter. So that is the card. So the next one, what we are going to create now. So let's view it and see what we have gotten so far. You can see it has been star. Awesome. So our card is coming up. So the next we are going to do now is the overstage. The overstage of the card. So now say transform, translate Are we translating in y-axis? The y-axis will now say -1 rem. Then we scale 1.1. Save changes. Let's do it and see. You can see there is no effect. Why the effect is not applying is because we did not apply the transition. So let's apply transition for 1 second. So we have applied the transition. Let's put the timing function, transition timing function. So let's do it. So let's check the card. Let's check the card very well and see the over stage, transform, translate. So what happened to our card? So can say the transition we didn't put 1 here. That is where the errors lies. So we can see now it's working. You can see our card is functioning now. So let's put cursor pointer. You can see. So that is our card. So let's go to the button now. Let's go to the button, the over state of the button. Then we know that we have completed the lecture for this card. So let's go to the button, the over state of the button. Then we now say BTN over state. Now say background. Remember our color. Then we now say border. No. Border. Say no. Save changes. So let's do it. You can see. Look at our template. This is our template because the template is 50%, but we use 80%. You can see that's why I occupied 80%. So you can see it very well. Let's see our template. So let's go to our view. So we can increase the font size of the heading. So let's go to the heading. So the heading. So you can now increase. You can see font size. You can see 1.5. Let's just view it. See what we get. So 1.5. So let's use 2. Okay, 1.5. Input the rem. So you can increase it to 2 well. Yes. You can see if the color of the link is not coming up very well, you can as well change it. Let's go to the link. This is the link. You can change the color. Perceive that the color is not coming up. For design sake, you can use any color. So let's view it. Yes, I think this color is a good one. So that is all. So thank you for coding along with me in this course. Don't forget to subscribe to Mafi Tech Expert on this my YouTube channel. So thank you for learning how to create a beautiful CSS card. So see you in my next drop on my YouTube channel.